she has the pocketbook.
She just went to psychologist.
My wife? I'm not.
I asked you about that, no?
Oh, I'll give you my wife's number. You can ask her too. Alright. Forgot about you. Okay. I've been a constant disappointment to Cynthia over the last 2 years. And my kids.
Bro, no. What is happening today?
Wait, this is our family?
Okay.
No?
I'm streaming right now. If you guys want to, I told.
But Karen,
Yeah.
are we gonna have to turn this in at the end of the year?
Yeah. Can't write in it.
Can I burn it?
Wait, how much is it?
Like $30. I don't know.
Okay, I'll burn it. I don't mind paying $30.
What I'm gonna do,
Just writes on it like
I'm going to Barnes & Noble. When I have enough money that I can actually go to shop for free.
What is that?
They sell that at Barnes & Noble.
Premium. You don't need the premium. Oh, they don't call it that anymore.
I was just in Barnes & Noble and I saw it.
I'm getting scammed, but I'm... Because I get pictures on
I thought you used that tickets.
dude, you're getting scammed.
Yeah. See, I gotta drop without having to do the resume or...
And you don't share?
16? That's cheap.
Mercury, if it makes you feel better, I get paid $13 an hour.
Really? You're supposed to get 15.
That's below minimum wage.
Oh, so you're not paying taxes? Oh, then that's good. Yeah. Well, it's illegal, but I mean, who's going to go after a kid? The IRS is not going to go after a kid making $13 an hour.
I just need to get my tuition paid for.
They have
Can I
bigger
get
fish
paid by
to
school
fry.
bus?
They're going to go after the 1%.
What if, like, after school, I pretend the bus hit me? That way I can get money.
I've mentioned that several times to my students that I want to just jump into the bus loading zone someday. Oh wait, that's being streamed right now live.
Who would it be?
I was kidding,
The bus
and I
driver
don't
would
work
it
for
be?
Dairy Unified.
No.
If you're interested in a prep book, Princeton Review, they don't call it cracking the whatever anymore. I guess that's, I don't know why they don't. But AP Chemistry, you used to be able to get it on Kindle too. Yeah, because it was a little cheaper, but I could print copies of it. But it was a little illegal. But Amazon's got it pretty cheap right now. So yeah, I might buy a copy for myself. Do you want one of these to study for the AP? Okay. Can I borrow yours if I need to? Oh wait, let me go on.
So,
We'll get started here in just a sec. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll do it. Okay.
so how was your day?
Yeah.
That's fair. I just got told by a freshman I should trust him.
Wait, you got told by a freshman that what?
Because there's a freshman in band, she's kind of quiet. And then she's like, she told me something that happened today, and she goes, oh, I want to tell you because I trust you. And I'm like,
I'm kind of listening. I'm just gonna see how many points these are.
Bailey!
I just saw you, Bailey.
No way, me too.
No, how's it not on there? Okay, I can do one of these.
I can't choose between them.
I have so many points. I'm trying to go back. Like sophomore year, I weighed a lot less because I was on Weight
I always
Watchers.
have her in jail.
I don't want to have a heart attack.
Wait, our sophomore year or their sophomore year?
Your sophomore year, when we went on lockdown, I weighed 190, and I'm now at 215. I had dumped a bunch with Weight Watchers when I had okay, guys, listen up, because I want to get us out of here at 7:30 at the latest for this, because I want to go home and eat. spaghetti with zoodles. Well, for me, not you get noodles. Zucchini noodles. For those that watch this later, the book they gave us for a prep book is garbage. So I went through it today. I went through Tom's, and I got my own copy. And the book it's a little outdated. We got the textbook last year, but textbooks are way behind AP always. So I would ignore, if you want extra problems, it does go through all the topics, but some of the stuff's been cut since this book was published. So you may end up doing more than you need to. So I'm telling students, if you want a test prep book to work on your own and get some practice tests in on your own time, the Princeton Review one is really good. That's the one we usually use for that. What's up, Martin? So yeah, it's not that this is bad, but one, you can't write in it because it's got a code on it for the school, so it's got to get returned. Just next year, I'm not picking them up because they're old. Yeah. So what I did for tonight, guys, I need you guys to listen so we can get through this. What I did for tonight is I put together a slideshow that I posted to Classroom if you haven't seen it already. And we're going to go through the first half of Unit 1 tonight. And then next Monday we'll go through the rest of Unit 1 and kind of just take it as we can through that. And I'll make slideshows for each review session so it's a little easier. We'll get some practice in. Some of the review session nights I want to run you guys through like a practice like mini test. Like I'll give you an FRQ or something. We're going to be doing that more in class too, but for the older topics that we're in for review. So the goal is to be all reviewed up with everything we've covered this year by the time we get to May 2nd, whether it's using these Monday nights or class time to do it if we have time at the end. So that's where we're at. I'm kind of mapping things out on the calendar and seeing how far we have to go, but these will really help out because there's going to be some stuff you may have forgotten or need review on. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. For those at home, I am recording this. I don't have the chat on, and the stream help is so. Okay. So the first thing that we covered, topic 1.1, the mole. What is the mole, and why do we care? You should. Unless you don't mind getting a 1 on the AP test, you really should care about the mole. The mole is defined as 3 different things. The mole is that many particles of any substance. Okay. The mole is the molar mass in grams per mole using the numbers from the periodic table for a substance. And the mole, if we're talking about gas volume, is 22.4 liters. That's at standard temperature and pressure, which is 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Okay? And that's at 1 atm of pressure. So whenever you're dealing with gases in the mole, if it says at STP on the AP test, use 22.4 liters. If it doesn't give you those conditions and it gives you something else, you're going to have to use PV equals nRT. Okay? So PV equals nRT is for when it's not at standard conditions. Okay? I'm also trying to, in these slides, these aren't just the notes redone. I've kind of tried to boil it down to the important stuff, but I want to give you guys, like, as we go through these review sessions, this is what they give you on the AP test related to the mole. So that equation is on the sheet, and they also tell you what everything means on the sheet, as you guys know. Okay. So if you're trying to get molar mass or the number of moles, you can either use this or you can use dimensional analysis. Okay, it's really whatever you're better at or like better. And I'm going to show you guys some practice examples as we go through this. Paradeck's not working right now either, so I'm just doing a slideshow here. So for starters, before we go to the slide, I want to throw one thing in. I don't know if the camera can see this. If if I ask you for the molar mass of calcium hydroxide, what is it and how do I get it? Or, yeah, periodic tables are there if you need them, or you can go to that one. Calcium, CaOH2. What's that? How many, what's the molar mass? Grams per mole. Periodic table.
Oh, I forgot your.
First person to get it gets a bag of Cheez-Its or the chips of their choice. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Good job. Did anybody hear her? Okay. It's about this many grams per mole. Okay. Just remember, and I know this is like basic elementary stuff, but we want to make sure you don't make any, how do I say this in a nice way, dumb mistakes on the AP test. So remember that the 2 counts for everything in the parentheses when you're doing that, but not for the CA. Okay. And I think I'm still a little, like we've been covering this in regular and honors chem, and some of them are trying to multiply everything by 2. I mean, it was a mess. So, yeah. Okay. Another like rudimentary, basic type of thing you should be able to do on the AP test is converting stuff. Now, this is not multiple choice, but they could do multiple choice for something like this, which sucks. But if you know how to estimate, it's not too bad. But you can use a calculator if you want to on this one. Okay. I'll show you how to estimate this to make it easier. Anybody have an answer?
Sure. Maybe it is a good thing we're doing this. I forgot this.
Get moles, turn it to grams.
Oh!
Am I speaking a different language right now?
No, I'm just like, no, wait, I'm a hollow show.
Wake up.
I'm a hollow show, but it wasn't August.
I mean,
August, I was
I was hopeful in August.
had
get my second win.
I could say
There
I
you
was
go.
somewhat happy.
Plus, I think I can get paid for doing this, so for the first time ever.
I'm
And
sure I can get paid.
Wait, is it 88.06 grams?
yes. Nerd
Hold up, I think I can.
gets it right and then gets ridiculed. That's how I.
Society.
Half of society, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to go over it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for the
Just in case.
people, yeah,
Oh,
just in case. I get some of you guys are more advanced than others.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm not.
No, it's
Did
not.
I mention any names? No. Okay.
I looked at my calendar.
I was looking at the screen the whole time I said it. So we're trying to get grams of CO2, and I have molecules. So what do I always have to go to first to get? Yeah, mole. So 1 mole of CO2 is how many molecules of CO2? 6.02. Yeah.
Did you skip this step?
The last step is to get grams. Where do we always get grams from? Periodic table. It's about 44 point something. I don't know. I'm just gonna put 44. Now you could do this in one step if you get that that cancels out that. You could just throw that there. Okay. So it's really up however you want it. It doesn't matter as long as you, if they ask you to show the work. Or it's a multiple choice. If it's multiple choice, it does not matter how you get the answer as long as you get it right. You do not have to show work on multiple choice. Now, pardon me, as far as what I do want to show you is a way to estimate this without using a calculator. If I move the decimal here to 12, and I'm just going to round it, it would. If I move it one spot to the right, it's going to take it down to this. It's going to take the exponent down if I move the decimal to the right once, and that's 6 times 10 to the 23rd. Those cancel out. 12 divided by 6 is 2 times. If you're doing multiple choice, that's what I'm doing. If I have no calculator. So most of you guys, I mean, how many of you already know how to do that anyway? You don't need me to show you that. Holy crap. Okay. Okay. But yeah, there's going to be times when you're going to have to do, like I know that's 2 moles just from experience, but you know, you might not. So that's why you want to learn how to kind of estimate things for multiple choice because you don't get the calculator. Okay. And then if you really get stuck, what do you do? Guess your A is off. Okay. I didn't want to say the A word, so because I'm filming this, but yeah, guess your A is off. Okay. Yeah. Not necessarily true. Okay. So then we look at this problem. It says how many moles of oxygen are in 200 grams of gaseous sulfuric acid. Now, the one thing that this book does do very well is during the atoms molecule in topic 2 of this book, which is no longer us. It goes over nomenclature pretty heavily, and that is one thing some of you guys are really going to have to get down. Basically, not Alea, and maybe Ariana. Ariana, how's your nomenclature?
Where's that?
How do you say?
It's like identifying the elements.
Nomenclature is naming the compounds. And yeah, so
Yeah,
that I would definitely check out topic 2 of this book, which goes through that in detail. Okay. So, because they could throw like sulfuric acid, you should know that that's H2SO4. We haven't gotten to acids and bases yet, but just preview here. They want you to know the acid names for some of these things. All right. What's that?
Are we going to do nomenclature?
You did over summer assignment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to save us time. That's stuff you guys learned. Well, honors can't. Well, Leia learned it over the summer, like fluently.
Sounds good.
Alea is
Alea's got a good memory, and she did it.
I did it.
No, I mean, like, did it. I know it kills you, Ryan, to hear that, but it's Alea's. I know.
Better than all of us.
She's better than me at it, I think. Like, I was kind of fishing for the thiocyanate this morning because I kind of brain farted, and she threw it out there first. Yeah.
Is that what you asked? You didn't know?
I nodded so nobody would see me say yes on the video, but for a moment there, I kind of brain farted. I'm like, well, crap, and then Alea came through. So. Oh shoot, let me do it. Yes.
My sister did not like conversions. So I like to remind her of it.
This one's a little tricky because who did?
My sister.
Who was your sister?
You didn't have her.
Did she go here?
Yeah.
What was her name? I may have known her anyway.
Elena, my freebies.
I went through all that. You know.
Just having nobody. I wonder if it'll be, because I don't trust my sister. What'd you get? I'm even kidding. Yes, that's what I trust like your brother.
You know it's correct. I know it's correct. When
I got 8.16.
Just give me a minute. This is not.
Yeah.
This is not.
Ariana, what did we do?
Well, you may have given me the moles of H2SO4, but it asks for the moles of oxygen atoms in there. Yeah. You're halfway done.
Wait.
Yeah.
It's asking for.
I could be wrong.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
I'm using dimensional analysis for this, as usual.
What was the wrong answer?
8.16, I think.
That's the right answer.
That's the right answer. I'm almost certain of it. Yeah, we'll find out. Okay.
Oxygen.
I got 8.16. It's okay. But see, this is the kind of thing that would be multiple choice, so you got about a minute and a half. Or it'd be part of some bigger, it'd be part of a big problem, where you have to figure this out before you can do the rest of the problem.
Okay. I have
Just
to
remember, if you weren't paying attention on honors chem last year as sophomores, it wasn't my fault. I wanted to come back in person earlier, but they wouldn't let us. I was thinking of sneaking kids onto campus.
It's not that I look
It's always on my phone.
I didn't understand it then either, so.
Well, it's a little easier when you're in person, but yeah.
I literally had voices tell me that.
Why did you tell me that before you? You're smart. You got the high score on one of the tests in here.
7? 7 tests.
Well, 1 out of 7's not bad.
only tell me about
14%.
Okay, so how much does the sulfuric acid weigh approximately? Let's pretend it's multiple choice. 98. Okay. All right. So if you got that far, it's good. Okay. Now the next thing I have to do is figure out how many moles of oxygen, and this is where the formulas are really important. How many oxygens are in H2SO4? 4. So whatever you got should be multiplied by 4 to get that. Yeah.
Very nice.
So that one came to, well, actually I got that out of Albert, to be honest.
what?
It's an Albert question. Yeah. It's one I didn't give you guys, I don't think. Albert, since our, it is unlocked, it should be. If it's not, let me know. Albert, you have since we don't have the study guide, the test prep book that we want, again, I highly recommend, and I don't get any money from you buying that book. I'm just saying, if you're trying to get a good study test prep book to go through, that's a good one. Most kids Seth Jansen, one of my water polo swimmer kids, the one that did nothing second semester and first semester, he got a 3, slept through most of AP Chem, and I said, how did you pass the AP test? And he goes, I used the test prep book and just crammed. Like a couple months before the AP test. So I changed, he was a junior, so his grade, we only did second semester grade changes, but he had a B first semester, and then he just slacked off second, got a D, got a 3, and ended up with a B both semesters in AP Chem. Ended up in the Navy's nuclear program. Became an engineer. So the test prep book is really important for people like that, especially. Okay.
I think
Well, like when I say before, I mean like starting now. Like get the book if you can and go for it if you have the funds for it. They're not going to give us money to buy them for you guys because we have this, even though it's garbage. They're going to say, well, they have a test prep book. So, yeah, there's no way around it. Okay, so I got about, I think it was 8.16. I can't remember. Or 7. So as far as estimating on this one without a calculator, I've got 200 divided by basically how much? 100. So that's 2 times 4, which is 8. And they're not going to put answers like this on a multiple choice. They're not. Yeah, they're not doing that. No, without a calculator, there's no way they would do it. We'd all call BS on it. And sorry, video. And that would be. They're not going to do that. Okay. So I've already gotten into it once with the local college board guy 2 years ago, and he accused me of. He did try to slander our kids. No, he had a valid point, but they were talking about they were coming to me and telling me, hey, mine was harder than this person's, and I'm like, well, we can't talk about it, but then I made the mistake of telling him we were talking about it. You're not supposed to talk about the test till it's released. 3 days later. Yeah. We'll go on Twitter the next day, and you'll see that every kid in the nation's talking about it on their Twitter account where it can be tracked. Yeah, make sure to look at the SAT ones after this weekend.
after tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Oh, wait.
It's on Thursday.
It's on Wednesday.
Wait, next week, right?
No,
No, this one.
In 2 days.
It's
No, you're taking this one on Wednesday. Like,
Oh, crap. I haven't even gotten the schedule yet for that day. All right. Okay, mass spectroscopy, topic 1.2. This one's a big deal on AP tests. Like, there's a lot of possibility for this to be on there. They really love this stuff, and it's not usually in the textbook. So it's even our new textbook that we have, it's not in there yet. Really got to go with test prep books and what we've done in class. So, mass spectrums are basically measured with a mass spectrometer. This is the thing where they take it, and it's in I didn't put it in this review, but in the notes, it's that track, the magnetic track, where they send the particles around the curve, and the ones that are heavier swing further out as they make the turn. The ones that are lighter swing further in, and it separates them. They did it a lot during World War II to get uranium-235 separated from 238 so they could make the first atomic bomb with it. We're not there yet. Yeah. I doubt we're going to get involved, trust me.
The ice tables in class.
No.
The what?
The song.
It's coming. We weren't there yet. Yeah. We're not advanced enough yet for the ice tables. So, and Eric wasn't here. It would have been a slap in the face not to play with him. Yeah. Okay, so the mass spectrum of an element can help identify different isotopes. So first of all, what is an isotope? That's up here. Okay. It's a different number of neutrons. Good. Okay. So we've got 3 isotopes of hydrogen. The most abundant is this one, and that's because the average is at about 1.00794. I can't believe I can see that from here. I probably just read off gibberish. Is it 794? Yeah. Okay. So that's the most abundant, less, and very rare. Okay. So, tritium was mentioned in a Spider-Man movie. Dr. Octopus was trying to get tritium to build a fusion reactor, and that was good science. The fusion reactor was BS, but fusion reactors would probably never happen. But those three are there. So the only difference between these guys are the numbers of neutrons. So hydrogen-1 doesn't have any neutrons. It's one of the few isotopes with no neutrons of any element. Okay. Deuterium, deut means 2. So deuterium's got 2 particles and has a mass number of 2. Remember that electrons don't count in the mass. They're not heavy enough. Okay. And then hydrogen-3 has 2 neutrons, 1 proton. The number of protons for an element is always the same. So all hydrogens have 1 proton, but the number of neutrons can be different. Okay. So when you look at an isotope symbol, you can tell how many neutrons there are by doing what with these two numbers? Subtracting. Good. So 3 minus 1 is 2 neutrons. Okay. What is this number? Well, it says it right there. What is this number called? Atomic number. That's the number of protons. The mass number is the protons and the neutrons. Okay. So just a little background on what you really need to know what an isotope is compared to, say, like an ion. What's the difference between the two? Besides how they're spelled and the way they're said. You're getting there. It has a charge. Yeah. It may have no electrons. It may have less electrons. So like hydrogen, when it's in an acid, especially when it gets into water, this will leave and go to a base. That becomes a proton, which is a hydrogen ion, H+. Okay. Most elements will still have some electrons because they've got their core electrons underneath the outer, but they'll lose their outer or gain outer electrons. Which elements lose electrons? Metals or nonmetals? This should be like metals, yeah. Nonmetals gain. Okay. So, yeah, and nonmetals, if they can't get them from a metal, we'll try to take them from each other, and we'll get into bonding later, but we get a covalent bond. So isotopes are like the bare background for everything going on. Isotopes are really important for that. Okay. So here we have a practice example here. This one says calculate the average atomic mass for the element shown in the mass spec data to the right. So this equation is not given to you on the AP test equation sheet, but we've used it in here. Well, we used it in August. It's been a while. Yeah, this is why we're reviewing. So if you take the percentage times the mass of that stuff and add it to the percentage of the other one times the mass of the other isotope, you'll get the average atomic mass. I usually work in decimals instead of percentage to make it easier. So I'll just convert the percentage to decimals. So here's the percentages. Here's the masses. See if you can figure out what the average atomic mass is for this stuff. And also what element is it. Okay. It's getting cold in here.
Yeah.
Let me shut that door. When are they going to cancel our college debt? Oh, bathrooms are, Lex, our custodian, said the bathrooms are open, just if you could be careful and not like mess them up. Or rip the soap dispensers off the wall. First person with an answer,
1020.
how much?
1020.
1,000.
No, what? I had to know what's the answer. I mean, it's got to fall somewhere between 10 and 11.
Wait.
Yes.
Hey, at least I said it. At least didn't you get the same answer as me?
No, I was like 1 decimal off. I got 1,019.
That's why I said go to decimals on it instead of percent. Otherwise, you have to divide by 100 at the end. So, yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to do that.
Wait, what is it? I got it.
I don't know. Okay.
So wait, it's not red enough.
Right.
Really consider getting that Princeton review. But
Oh, no, yeah, right.
I'll put a link in.
Mercury, you know what's better? Ariana's struggling too.
What happened?
You know what's
I
better?
don't know if
Ariana's
that's
struggling too.
Well, it's been a while. That's why we're doing this. But again, these are just like a couple of examples from each topic. It really helps to get a test prep book that's decent. I'm gonna keep saying it all night. But Princeton review, yeah.
Me and Princeton are gonna be best
You two could Seth Jansen this thing if you have to. And I still, the guy's a genius. I mean, but he could have got a 4 if he actually, maybe a 5 if he did.
to do that job.
I mean, he really literally was asleep most of second semester and still got a 3. Like I didn't even wake him up. I'm like, let him sleep. So
If you can do it, I can't.
that's not true.
Don't doubt yourself, Cynthia.
Stop doubting yourself.
Right.
No one likes to doubt her.
Oh, but you can. Well, you can't.
So you're Mexican.
Armeni, there's nothing that works in mine. Armeni ain't. We sure blew that whole Turkish thing.
I'm gonna put that in my Twitter bio.
There is 10.2.
Did anybody ever pick Armenia for their country project? Never heard of it?
I never heard of Armenia.
We're the true minority in California.
I didn't know what.
There's 5
Armenia
of
was
us.
from Kardashian.
5 of us made it through the gym. Okay, so 10.2 AMU is the average. It needs to fall somewhere between 10 and 11.
Yes.
And it needs to fall closer to 10 because 80% of it is 10 AMUs. And 20% is 11.
I remember this purpose unit test that I missed.
What? Okay, so let's move on. We're 37 minutes into this thing. Yeah.
Let's go.
We haven't heard it. I'm trying. Okay. Oh, hey, percent composition. Yeah. There's page numbers in the book if you want them. They're also in the notes.
Oh my gosh, I have the notes like
If I had a choice of you guys going through the notes again to get ready for the AP test and going through the test prep book, not this test prep book. Yeah. Beg your parents for money. I will try to raise funds with a car wash. It's Madeira.
I don't
We'll do a funeral car wash and fake one. Yeah.
Maybe a GoFundMe.
Tom's face on it.
It'll be on the news.
We'll raise money for even though you're still alive. Have you out there with your face on that poster? For the...
We could say it's a baseball game.
Oh yeah, we could sell. Oh wait, July 4th is too late. Get a fireworks stand.
There's no
Groundhog Day.
Oh,
Groundhog Day's fake.
that was a month ago.
Was it actually?
Doesn't even know when Groundhog Day is.
I thought it was in March.
It's the day after my
His
wife's
birthday. His birthday's like
And it's
Valentine's
literally
Day.
the day after.
My wife's the day before Groundhog Day. Well, that's right. You guys are birthday friends. Ariana and Mom. Your mom.
Okay, what about St. Patrick's Day? Isn't that this month, right?
That's an excuse to do stuff you shouldn't be doing. Yeah. All right. Percent comp is. This is another one of those first year chem kind of toolbox things you really should know going into the AP test. It's the mass of an element in a compound divided by the mass of the whole thing times 100. So if you're trying to, like, for instance, carbon is, well, let's do a different one. I almost tried to use a sharp or one of these on my screen. I'm a little tired.
Hey, watch it.
What is the percent composition of hydrogen in hydrogen peroxide? Using that equation.
Ooh. Mass element.
Man, this celery's good. Celery, Tom.
Is it
5.8. 5.5.
Oh, let me do it.
Sorry, Lisa.
That was Cynthia.
Oh.
anyway?
It's in the same direction.
I got a piece of celery stuck in my food.
TMI.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna have to stop the study session and go home.
I don't think I got it right.
I got whatever Orion got, unless it was 10,000 and something.
What'd you get?
How much mass?
Shot
28%.
I'm paying for it by this piece of. I cannot get it out. I'm gonna die. Oh, good. All right, so
Wait, I got. No, I'm not gonna say it.
I got 5.88%.
I got 5.9.
Well, I mean,
Close enough.
if you're round, it's fine. Yeah.
Well, that's what the calculator gave. It was a calculator's fault.
No, it doesn't. It's just a round. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm getting mad.
This is why you put me to that.
So how much does I don't think about that stuff when I'm putting the seed. How much does the hydrogen weigh in H2O2? 2 gram.
Oh, I put 2.8.
I'm just rounding this thing severely here. So, and then the whole thing weighs 34. That's the compound. That's the element. Remember, if there's 2 of them in there, you got to multiply it by 2, and then times 100 will give you. 100. Sorry, Bailey. Thanks. Where are my manners? Could be home right now watching Seinfeld reruns.
What is this crazy?
Our daily struggle.
What is that?
I smudged it with my hand.
Oh, lefty struggle. Yeah.
I chopped my hand off.
No way, that's
That's crazy left-handed people. That's racist or something. Yeah, it's handist. We are a race.
I feel discriminated against. I'm pretty discriminated against.
How about all the scissors that we can't use?
The only left-handed person I like is Cynthia.
Same. Oh, wait, my mom's left-handed. And my little sister. My dad was, but my grandma changed him.
No calculator.
Yeah.
Alright, everyone shut up.
Try it without. Okay, everybody shut up.
Greatest
Well, you can do it on scratch paper. I'm not asking you. Tom's doing it in his head, or pretending he is.
Wait, didn't we do
You're
this?
doing it in your head, aren't you, right now? You nerd. Freak.
It has something to do with empirical.
No, this is just.
No.
Which one? No, this is the equation we just used.
When in doubt, let's see.
It's not. I think he's faking it right now.
No, I'm really trying.
I don't make glasses.
Piece of crap.
The greatest percent
Thomas trade tracks on the way home.
Sure.
carbon.
Oh, wait, does your heater work?
Yeah.
Wait, no
Does
computer.
your stereo work?
And the headlights don't turn on automatically. It takes you have to. I drove I was coming home from tennis. I got halfway home before I realized my headlights weren't on, and it was already.
How many close calls have you had so far after?
Actually, none.
No, I'm just kidding. It's
Okay,
like 2.
I have my answer.
I don't know if the answer is him.
No, really, it wasn't my fault. Name was people.
Oh my god. Wow. Oh, that's
What,
crazy.
why are my pens not working?
The other one was my fault, though.
Oh.
I think it's B.
My pen's not working.
Oh wait, I mean exactly.
Wow.
B.
What's 12 plus 16?
When in doubt,
It's B.
Yeah.
75. But I like that a lot. Yeah.
Because it's little bit of the rest.
Yeah, so that's like you could get guys, you could get away with not even doing the math if you get that this whole thing weighs 16, and 12 of it is a lot. Whereas these guys all have heavier stuff added to, like that one's way out of line. Yeah, this one. Here we have 12 divided by 1 plus 4, 12, 27. This is 12 divided by 44. Like, you don't have to actually solve it to figure it out.
Yeah, whichever one's the smallest, like, total.
Yeah, so wherever the numbers are closest. Numerator. Yeah.
Because when you take those and then if you like multiply them, turning into a percent, it would be more.
Yeah, you'd have 12 out of 16, which is 3 over 4,
Yeah.
which is 75%. So, yeah. It's, I think this is why Isaac Duarte Villa was able to do really well in the multiple choice. He can really do that kind of stuff pretty quickly, or he could back then. I think he still can. He's getting old, though. He's like 22. Yeah.
That's like her.
It's like ancient, yeah. No, I don't think he's that old.
Look at yourself.
I could ask the Dominator.
Super scary. Do your area on this.
No.
Look at yourself.
I know. Good one. It's after hours. She's more mouthy. Yeah. I like it though. It's out of character. Okay. What happened here? Oh, okay. Empirical formula.
I love how this is Friday.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because I
Why are
can
you
use
shy?
it.
Is this a moment?
Oh.
I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna talk anymore.
Just read off the slide.
When are we gonna give white males a break? I'm kidding. Yes.
Do you know what they even spilled on the desk?
Lord only knows, but I'm killing all eating in my class except in AP Chem. So,
Yes.
That's why I have more stuff.
especially third period because they're the ones making the messes. So, yeah,
We're superior.
without a doubt. Okay, so empirical formula. Definitions there. C4H16. I don't even know what that is. But if you divide that by 4 on both of these, you end up with an empirical formula of CH4. Empirical formulas are really more for like classifying compounds, like, oh, they have the same empirical formula. But the actual formula is usually more useful to us than that is, but you still have to know how to get it. Okay. If you know the empirical for something and you know the molar mass of that something, you can figure out the molecular formula, the actual formula. Okay. So that's that. The molecular formula is the actual formula for a substance. And one of the laws that comes in, and they mention this in topic 2 of the crappy test prep book, is the law. It does have all the stuff, it's just not in the order we taught it in. Okay. The law of definite proportions, this is where any pure sample will always have the same formula for that particular substance. So water is always H2O. It's kind of obvious, I guess, maybe. Well, water can't be H2O2 because that's peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. Don't start. Okay.
Started right.
Can God lift a rock that he can't? Can God make a rock that he can't lift if he's omnipotent? It's a nonsensical question.
Is there an equation for that?
There is. Yeah. That's what I want on my headstone. There's an equation for this. And an upper bust of me on top of the headstone.
Okay, you're thinking too big here.
I will put it in my will. You better figure out how to pay for it. With a cowboy hat on, even though I've never really worn a cowboy hat. Now, there is a law of multiple proportions. That's where substances can be made of the same two elements but have different formulas, like water and hydrogen peroxide. One's H2O, one's H2O2. So that's kind of also duh, especially with hydrocarbons. There's 2 million different CH compounds out there. They all have just C and H, but different proportions of them. So multiple proportions. Well, because DNA, you start getting like millions of carbons linked together. Not millions, but a gazillion. Do you want me to go to the next slide?
Yes.
Okay. It's on Classroom if you need it. Oh, I don't know why I did thumbs up on this one. That was stupid. Alright, anyway. Well, just pick the right one. Did you say it? Yeah.
I already knew it.
Tell him to shut up.
Wasn't I supposed to?
Don't ever go easy on him because he's related to me. Okay. If anything, you should be going tougher on him like Ryan does. Damn.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Huh?
I couldn't tell who it was.
Honestly, I don't care else.
It was Aiden. Right. Aiden, soccer season, is it over?
I'm so sad.
Sorry, buddy.
Moment of silence.
I'm so hungry.
Hi, hungry.
I'm hungry. I don't know, I'm gonna better get my third pack of Cheez-Its meal.
After one day.
I'm just checking. I'm not gonna. It doesn't mean I have to eat them.
Have you been on your diet for one full day yet?
Elisa, shut him up.
No, this is funny.
Okay.
This is funny. If I stop you from eating them, do I get a whole cook?
I'll just keep eating that celery. Alright. I've eaten my allotment of hummus for the day. Okay. The answer is what? B. So if you divide that by 3, that's as low as I can go whole numbers. Huh?
Yeah, you need to.
Oh, sorry, 2.
Way to go.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, I stole a mobile from a sophomore.
Nice.
Actually,
Yeah.
Good.
Keep that.
Hey, they should take better care of them.
Yeah, I have it in cupcakes. It's yellow.
I gotta give you guys your.
I like cupcakes. Because I don't. Because these are my most prized possessions.
I forgot to give you guys your allowance last week, and I've already forgotten this week. So
I just
every 2 weeks, yeah.
got my last prize. I just won an iPhone 13.
oh my god, no way.
All right. The steps are calculated in empirical formula are here. So we'll do a practice or 2 here. The link that I put here is from the notes too, but it goes into if you need like more on empirical formulas. This thing is really good. There's actually a tutorial you can click on, and you can go through it. Oh, that's scary. Skip that one, and then oh jeez, it's supposed to be a biochem class. Anyway, no, it is good though. So
That's my 6th period.
biochem.
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I don't know why.
What's biochem in your 6th period? Wait, what do you have 6th period?
I have the bozo.
What did you call her? Yeah. So.
Oh, I have the what's.
Not me. Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's not. Is it biochem? I thought that was an L.
It says it's biochem.
What the heck?
What the fudge? I thought it was. Oh.
Oh yeah, before it's like going away.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
All right. I don't know if you guys need this or you want me to wait. I mean, it's in the notes, but.
It's also right here.
It's in my bag, actually. I don't know where it is.
It has that.
How's the celery?
Crunch.
cheetahs, that's for sure.
All night they're calling cheetahs. No.
Alright.
Making use of these snacks though.
What are you doing? Sitting there all night, eating shit out. What about your mom? She was I would never talk about myself.
Oh, wait a minute. If I get steps in, I can eat this.
What is that? Gibberish.
Oh, this thing.
Grams. Get it. Change it to grams automatically. Convert that to moles. Divide by the lowest. Yeah. You know the routine. Maybe you don't.
Sure.
My phone's at 61%. I'm not gonna make it.
61?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just seems low.
Oh no. It's like I know how to do this, but I don't.
So true.
Molar mass.
We'll go get the empirical first, then worry about the molecular one.
Oh, wait, I know how to do this. It's right here. It's the exact same practice one.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I copy pasted. Yeah.
Wait, is it for like?
Yeah.
That's like a
Well, I got I panicked when I saw the crap that was this thing, and then started writing my own slideshow.
I don't think we have the answer, but I'm still gonna write it down.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I should have worn my Crocs.
Mercury, could this be a multiple choice or if you wanted that?
I would say more likely for your response. I mean, unless they give you like a simple, like easier percents to work with. Yeah. They'd have to make. I'll look for some examples of multiple choice of this, but Albert's got some.
Oh, it's the same thing. Oh, no,
You do it to moles, and you put it with each component, and then you divide them all by the lowest number. This is like the one thing I remember to do that I can.
That's good, because
What about me?
It makes me feel like I'm doing something. Thank you. You know what? You're a real one.
okay. So I did the first one. Do the same thing with the other two.
What did I do?
Oh yeah. That's what I know.
And you don't. I mean, if it's multiple choice, you don't even have to show order. Yeah. Let me see what I can find on Albert for. Which one are we on? 1.3.
How do you use this?
Yeah, the multiple choice is usually going to be sorry, I keep saying that. Yeah. Like, which of the following is the empirical formula of a compound with the molecular formula B2H6? That kind of stuff. Ah, it's easy. All right.
So true.
It's not letting me.
Oh, they're all looking a little bit similar.
Five.
Okay, now. It's just, I don't know how to use, I don't use whiteout. I just scribble it.
I'm not even going to do the hydrogen because it's 1 gram per mole. So it's like 4. I'll do it.
No.
In case you guys.
That was beautiful.
That sounded like an after-school special movie on Lifetime. The Lifetime channel. Those movies are the best. So I got this. If anyone cares. Oh, okay. It's like 4-ish. So what I do, you want to round severely in this, and if you divide by the smallest on this, you're basically dividing by 2 on everything. You're going to get Cl, C, H dose, right? Okay. For the empirical. To get the molecular formula, you got to figure out how much that weighs and compare it to that. Okay. I'll show you that in just a sec if you're. Try it out. And these carrots are good.
That was not We should have sandwiched. We should have sandwiched together.
35.5.
Even though they got my sandwich on. Even if they didn't. It was good. They're still good.
Do you guys care if I erase the bottom?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We went to Deli Delicious and we got a sandwich and split it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're so good. You're missing out.
Every time.
I'm sorry, that always kills me. It'll never not. It's never not.
Next year I'm not going to do anything on this computer. It's all going to be. I'm going to put notes on the whiteboard and make a copy. How much does this stuff weigh?
Good question.
Yeah, I rounded 49.5 grams per mole. So the molecular formula, the molar mass of the molecular formula, or the molecular formula mass, is 98.96 grams per mole. And the empirical formula mass is this. If I divide that by that, I get a factor of about 2. So to get the actual molecular formula, it's 2 times the empirical formula for this one. So it'd be Cl2, C2, H4. Because the molar mass of the actual substance is twice the mass of the empirical formula. So the empirical formula is the lowest whole number ratio of the elements, but the actual formula might be some multiple of that, 2, 3, whatever. So I would, try to, I mean, you can look up any practice for this. I'm looking at the Albert ones, and they don't give you percent on the multiple choice, they give you moles. I'll show you here in just a sec. You guys care if I strike this from the record? Okay. So I'm going to show you one on Albert. So this one says a compound is found to have 1.32 moles of lithium, 0.66 of selenium, and 2.64 moles of O. Which of the following is the correct empirical formula? So if I'm just doing this without, and again, you can't do it with a calculator, so I have 1.32 of that. The SE is 0.66. The O is 2.64. What do I do with those three numbers? Yeah, divide by the smallest. And so we get, what is that going to be? Li2Se. What's the O going to be? Is that 4? So the answer should be B on that one. So that's the type of stuff you get in multiple choice, no calculator. They don't usually give percentages there. It'd probably be in the free response. Okay. So what we just did is probably harder than what you'll see on the test, but.
So they might not make you get the molecular.
Well, yeah. If you look, like, if you go into Albert and look at the at 1.3, this one. This is one where they give you the molar mass for the molecular formula, and they give you the empirical formula. So you'd have to figure out the CH2O's mass. You want to do this one? I don't know if you guys can see it from where you're sitting, but
If I can find it,
it's so
I can't see it.
you got to figure out the mass of CH2O basically first, and they gave us the molecular formula mass as 180. So I think CH2O is 30-ish. What's that? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
You spelled my name wrong.
Good. Go back up, or
I can't find it.
is there a way to make this so it all fits on? Okay. Go up, down. I just see this, and I don't know. Go in a circle. Go up and down until you're done moving your finger.
Can you go up again?
Yeah, I can do a lot of stuff.
I need to. Oh, yes.
Or open up. If you, you don't have your. Oh, you do have your Chromebook. Albert has a buttload of these for practice. So, and again, it's open. It depends. So, the ones that they're heavy on in the AP test, there's a lot of practice problems. The one they're not as heavy on, yeah. And it's all open. Like, you can go to them now and get any question you want and practice it and see the results. It's not unthinkable.
Can you go down?
Wait, what am I doing now? Going down? Okay.
My answer's locked in.
Is it C?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't even know what it is. What is the answer?
C.
Okay, let's find out. It is. Which is glucose.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Fructose. Glucose.
They're related to each other.
I don't know. I wasn't even
The toses, yeah. So oses.
I don't know how this works.
Well, glucose is the simple sugar. Fructose is the complex sugar. Is that a yeah, like I'm right, or a yeah, like shut up and move on? Or both? Oh, okay, cool. I did. All right.
And then we had a sophomore in class.
All right, last topic for tonight. Composition. This you should know, like, how to identify if it's an element, a compound, or a mixture from various things. So everything's made out of matter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and chemistry is the study of matter and the changes in which it undergoes. Yeah. Chemistry is the study of matter and the changes it undergoes.
I just put composition.
So it's matter and reactions of matter. Okay. So where do I find elements? There. Okay. Where do I find compounds? Those guys combine together in different ways. And then if I have compounds from there mixed with other compounds or elements, I've got a mixture. But everything comes from naturally about 100 elements. Everything in the universe is made up of about 100 elements. Okay? So that begs the question, how do we get so many different things, including people, from just 100 elements? Mixtures, compounds, elements, all getting more and more complex. You get your...
Like a salad.
Yeah.
The world is just a salad.
It's a big salad, and we're all going to take a bite out of it. Okay. That's not the usual saying.
The world is a salad.
It's usually a poop sandwich, and we're all going to take a bite out of it. Yeah.
Everything is steak.
Life is beautiful, guys.
Is the Coyote Dance the wolf?
We have zero people. We have 0 people watching this right now. Okay. I'm gonna shut it off. I might. Yeah. Shut it down. All right. So classify these as element, compound, or mixture.
Okay, I'm doing my head. Water.
And then for bonus, classify carrots. Water.
Mixture.
Is there a carrot element on the periodic?
Compound. Element.
Carrot's element.
Okay, first of all, there's a lot of water in these, so your compound theory shot. Yeah.
It's a mixture.
Atomic bomb.
I said that the first time. Everyone said no.
I was too busy yelling at him to answer you. Yeah. His mistakes outweigh your victories, and
Because I'm a woman, huh?
no, it's because it's my kid. I didn't know you were a woman.
What?
Well, I didn't assume. So.
Anyways.
You can do whatever you want. Okay.
Air. I didn't notice the air.
I identify as somebody that works at Taco Bell, even though I don't. So.
Okay, I got half of them. I don't do it.
All right. What's distilled water? First of all, it's pure water. Compound. Okay. Tap water is out of the faucet. Mixture. Is it a homogeneous or a heterogeneous mixture? Hopefully, it's homogeneous. Okay.
But probably heterogeneous.
If you live somewhere where your water supply is not good, it might be heterogeneous if there's chunks in it. Okay, so sand or whatever else, like ours with rusted. Okay, what about Ag, silver? Element. What about what is this called, by the way? Nomenclature. Where's Alea?
Argon dioxide?
I'm not laughing at you.
I'm throwing words
It's
out.
silver. It's okay. Just use your periodic. Argon's AR.
I'm throwing words out there. I'm tired.
You know what? I'm proud of you for throwing out an answer.
I'm tired. Uranium.
Something oxide.
Silver oxide. What is it?
Water.
No. You're in your trap. Go home. What? Do you see that up there by itself in a box? Okay. If that's not in a box up there, it's not an element. Okay. All right. Good. It is a compound. Good. I yelled at you a couple of times. I heard you say it 3 times, but I was still yelling. So yeah. Okay. What's this? Mixture. What gives away it's a mixture? That salt plus water. Or salt plus water. Shut up. All right. What is this?
I don't know.
It's a compound. Because when you think about it, like.
It's a compound. It's H2O.
I think she's thinking about the water.
Screwed. Not you guys, but the rest of them. I'm kidding. We're all screwed. Okay, so. Okay. First of all, what is one of the elemental compounds that's in air for sure? Most of you are breathing right now. Oxygen. Okay. Some of you are wasting it. Others have earned it. Okay. It's after hours. I can say whatever I want. I'm doing this for free. What is the other or what's another element that's in the air that we don't
Carbon
process?
dioxide.
Okay, there's a small amount of that, but it's piecemeal. What about the big one? Nitrogen. Okay, both of you.
Yeah, I redeemed myself.
And so let's get rid of that. It's really 1% other gases. Okay. So 99% of it, 78% of it is nitrogen, 21% of it is oxygen, and the rest of the 1% is all the other gases that might be in the air, including carbon dioxide. The news would have you believe the air is 99% carbon dioxide right now, but that's not true. Okay, so but it's still higher than it's been in a while. Okay, yeah, it's high, but it's less than fractions of a percent. Okay. So air is definitely a what? A mixture. Okay. Stop saying compound. How far will this go into my brain?
It's like a COVID test.
Stick a pen in my nose and see if I have COVID.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it Avatar like
No,
a
it's
show?
so orange.
Stoichiometry.
So this one's hard. This one's downright really hard.
I ashamed myself right now. I can't do this anymore.
Mercury, this is downright devious.
Good, do it. I like that attitude. Okay. Okay, guys, listen on this. This we'll probably stop here. Well, it depends. This one might take a while. Okay, so this is straight out of Albert's practice. This one's a multiple choice in Albert,
Oh, it's a choice.
but use a calculator. Okay, if you guys didn't know, silver will tarnish. This is why I put those in the example before. Silver will tarnish to make silver oxide, which is absolutely not an element. It's a compound. I'm just kidding. And it says silver has a density of 10.5 grams per milliliter, and an old piece of silver with a volume of 3.21 milliliters has begun to tarnish so that a portion of the sample is actually Ag2O. It says after the silver has become 33.3% tarnished, what is the total mass of the sample? Now, what you need to know first is what is the mass of the silver before? How do you figure that out if you know density? No. That amount of silver. You have the density, you have the volume. How do you get the mass? Density equals mass over volume. So figure out the mass of the silver before anything happens. Okay. No, just, or use dimensional analysis, whatever. I want to know how many grams of silver we have. It gave us the milliliters and the density.
Wait, density is what again?
It's on there. It's 10.5.
Oh no, the
Oh, density equals mass divided by volume. And that is given to you on the AP test. Yeah. If you need it, yeah.
I just wanted to read it. Yeah, I have the equation sheet.
I have extras if you guys need. I like to show the equation.
How did you say it like that?
Targeted. Wait. Okay, it is.
Okay, so what is the mass of silver that we're dealing with before anything happens to it? Should be 30 something.
What?
Okay, let's. Okay, we have this and this. We don't have the mass. All right, if I solve for m, what is m equal to? Okay. All right. So the density is 10.5 grams per milliliter, and the volume is 3.25 or 3.21 milliliters. You can use dimensional. That's why I said you can use dimensional analysis for this too. It doesn't matter, but that's going to cancel out. You're going to get grams, and it's 33 point something, I think. 0.7. Okay. Okay. So that's how much silver we have just starting out. And then it says after it has become 33.3% tarnished. So how do you figure out 33.3% of this? How do we get a percentage of anything? Yeah. Times. Yeah, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. If it's 33%, that's also... I would just do that personally, but because that's 33.3% in decimal. Or if you don't like decimals, you can do that. You're still going to get the same answer, but yeah, however you want to do it. So, how much of it got tarnished? Use a calculator for 11.2-ish.
I got 0.22.
Okay, so that's how much silver has been tarnished. Okay, so that's that's kind of one of the first step is figure out how much silver you have, because they gave you volume and you got to have grams to get this figured out, because it's asking what is the total mass of the sample when it's over. Yeah, Peyton.
You should know that it's tarnished because that means it won't.
It would turn to Ag2O. Yeah.
It left.
So.
Well, the weight's going to go. Well, let's look. Well, but you're getting oxygen from the air. So this is something we talked about in regular honors chem this week with the kids I have now in there. And they took steel wool and burned it with a 9-volt battery. And they had to weigh it before and after, and it weighs more when it's done. Which seems to break the law. Yeah, because it seems to break it, but it's not, because see, babe, when you weigh the steel wool on the electronic balance, it's not, the air is not, the oxygen's not in the container with it, it's in the air. So the extra added weight's coming from the oxygen in the air and attaching to the steel wool. So it becomes iron oxide. So the same thing's happening with this, just silver instead. Okay, so here's I'm going to show you guys a really easy way to get this done. Do you want to stop? We can, I don't care, it's almost 7:30.
No, we just finished this up.
Okay, it won't take long.
No.
Well, yeah, it won't take long. Okay, so if you know how much of that is tarnished, that's the silver that's tarnished. In that case, what you want to do next is basically figure out how much silver is left. First. So yeah, what was our mass to begin with? 33.7-ish. And if you subtract the 11.22, yeah, 22 point something, 48. Thanks, nerd. Okay. So 22.48 or so, that's how much silver didn't tarnish. Okay. Now keep in mind this is a long problem, okay, and we're still not done. Oh yeah, but could. It probably wouldn't be, they have it as a multiple choice on Albert, but well, they could. Yeah, they could. So what you have to do, you want to set this aside. That's how much silver's in there after the tarnishing, okay? We know how much silver tarnished, but we don't know how much Ag2O is in there. We only know that we have 11.22 of it that actually was going through that process. So we're talking silver before, and this is where the stoichiometry comes into play. So I'm going to show you this real quick, and then we may go over this one again next time we meet for this stuff. 1 mole of silver weighs about 100 and, I'm just going to round this, 108 grams. Okay. We need to eventually figure out how many grams of silver oxide we have with that 11.22 that tarnished. Okay. When I first saw this problem, I'm like, oh, this is easy. I just add 11.22 to 22.48, but that doesn't. That just puts you right back where you were at the beginning. It took me a while to figure that out. Yeah. So I did. No, I'm kidding. But you realize you can't do that. So 1 mole of silver oxide. That 2 should be a subscript. Is how many moles of silver? How many moles of silver are in 1 mole of silver oxide if there's 2 silvers in there? 2. Because there's 2 Ags and Ag2O, that means there's 2 moles of silver in there. Okay. Then the last step would be to figure out how much that weighs. And I'm going to cheat. It's 232 or so grams. I am cheating. Yeah. So once I do the math for that, I'm using stoichiometry. This is silver that was tarnished. This is what it actually became. So I'm using dimensional analysis to figure that out. And we'll do more of these in review. But I end up, you get like 12.05 grams of the oxide plus the silver that didn't tarnish. So we have silver, we end up with this. Some of it is the tarnished and some of it is not the tarnished. It's like split. Yeah.
What's the 12.05?
That's how much silver oxide there is. After I do all of this, that's how much silver oxide is in there.
Did we find out how much the total mass of this is?
Once I add the original silver, this is the silver that didn't go through the process. This is the silver oxide. When I add those 2 together, I get the total.
That's why you can just take 11.
Yeah, if you go to 1.4 in Albert, it's like towards the bottom of the questions, and it's labeled as difficult, but it takes you through the process. So if you want to look at that one on your own, you can. But we'll do more of those in review. Yeah, stoichiometry and dimensional analysis. We really need to make sure we hit those. Okay. All right, we're done for tonight. Thank you.
I'll go with you because.
I'm gonna shower in our room.